everybody, and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, absolutely non-league, the show dedicated to everything from the National League North, and National League South. Before I say hello to everybody else, I'm going to put it out there now. I said it off air. If you hear a squeaking noise, I promise I do not have wind. It is my chair. I've built my chair all by myself, but the problem is, now I've sat on it, it does feel like it could go. So just letting you all know now, get your cameras ready, get your clipping ready, screen recording if it happens, because it's not the best at the minute and it's making noises. So I do apologise. But of course, we have got, do you know what? I'm looking forward to talking the transfer news. We've obviously got the situation with Morecambe to talk about yet again, which obviously is so frustrating. But first, do you know what, Jen? I'll come to you first. How are you doing? Football aside, how are you doing, obviously?
I'm all right. Everyone keeps asking. I'm just like, I'm just coping is the word that's being used at the minute. It's absolutely horrific what is going on at the minute. We should have been sold today. Lee wasn't sold today. It goes on. We've got a pre-season game tomorrow. Who's playing? Who knows? Like, literally at this point, it's absolutely ridiculous what's going on.
It's just so frustrating. We will get onto it a little bit later. Ben, how are you? I mean, it's been a while. We've got the JCB and then we've got Lee. But Ben first.
A little triangle going on, isn't it? Yeah.
I know.
I sort of needed the break you sort of get when you get to the end of the football season, just mentally recharge, not thinking about it, because when you do it all year long, it just takes everything out of you. So, but now at pre-season sort of started. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll get back into it. But always glad to be on with the old JCB and of course Lee. Who what more could I ask for Monday night?
I feel like that could be a new group.
Yeah.
JCB and Lee. Or Lee and JCB.
Group.
Yeah, it sounds like proper.
Does anybody remember the song JCB?
Yeah, how can we not?
Yeah.
Do you not remember it?
Iconic song.
That I'm Luke, my dad's Bruce Lee, drives me around in his J. Do you know what though? Come to think of it, we've got Morgan, who's Bruce, we've got Lee, and we've got JCB, and we've got Luke as well, who comes in the chat. So we've got the whole song.
Yeah.
We are the JCB song. But Lee.
To get the motto changed of the podcast.
I know. We need to do a version of it ourselves. But Lee, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, not bad. Felt a little bit rough. Didn't think I was going to make it, but yeah, feeling a lot better now and ready for the season ahead.
I know it's funny. I'm missing my pie. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the transfers and some of the stuff that Big Jim's been doing, I'm quite happy with. I'm quite excited with. But then I'm like, football pie. I just need my pie. And my sister's in as well, Amy. She's reposted it. As soon as I say pie, Amy appeared. It's like that was the sign. But of course, it's not just us. We have some wonderful people in the chat as well. We have Thomas, what FC Halifax are in talk to sign Tom Lees. We have got David, he's put good evening all. Hello, how are you? We've got Graham as well. Graham, I want a picture of your setup and want you to tag me in it as well, because I believe you're watching both us and you're watching Freya and Paul as well. So yeah, I need proof. I need that picture. We've got Chris as well. Evening all. Evening, Chris. Hope you're okay. Can you guess a ground, Charlotte? What ground?
Oh, in his picture.
Oh, my eyes are that bad.
Oh yeah, I can't even see that.
You could tell my eyes are bad anyway by the amount of times I squint reading all your comments.
Yeah, to be fair, I can't even make that out.
No.
All of us then. That'd be a great picture, wouldn't it? All of us that.
What ground is it?
What an
Oldham?
Imagine
No.
nomination for the FCAs are open, and imagine him coming across this, and all four of us like,
Great.
All I'm saying is just all by looking at his Twitter, it's a very old picture, so God knows. If
It's
probably
a
want to
Dale fan, so I'm thinking, do you reckon it'll
Is
be
it
Dale?
Dale?
Or I don't.
Could
Can't really
be.
say.
The
It's
board has
old.
resigned
Yeah, there we
again.
go.
Oh,
There we go. But yeah, Graham has put this as well. The board have resigned again. What a mess. Jen, do you want to get us started on all things Morecambe? Where do you want to start? Do you
Yeah,
want to obviously?
Where do you actually start? Like, it's been what, 2 weeks since? Yeah, 2 weeks since they were meant to get paid, all the staff. So it has been 2 weeks. I know, I'm still on that day. Be careful with him though, because he does like his yellow card. So yeah,
We'll get onto that a little bit later. I am sorry, but I did apologise as well, didn't I, Jen? I was like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry I've taken it. It's fine. He's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy. But yeah, the staff were meant to get paid 2 weeks ago now. They still haven't been paid, which is ridiculous considering everyone's got bills to pay, food to put on the table, all that kind of stuff. Then it just turned into an absolute nightmare. This club has been up for sale for 3 years now, over 1,000 days. They've been up for sale, and nothing's changed. Punjab, I must say, I have to give credit for them to stick around and still want to buy this club and be committed to it, considering what Jason has put them through these past 2 years while they've been trying to find this club. They could easily just like walk away and say, nah, I'm not doing this. I'm not dealing with this. But they've stuck around, and I honestly hope it gets over the line for them, because they have been nothing but supportive to everyone. I think the hardest part is the staff are still there. They're still working. The players are still training. It's one of them where it's like, even though we are bad at the minute, and it is really bad, the players are still turning up, the staff are still turning up, and I think that just shows the community that is around. And it's difficult as a fan to sit there. I think what's happening with this club, like, it's absolutely, I've never seen it this bad, like, ever. Like, we've missed payments before, and within a couple of days they're in the bank. So I was like, oh, you won't get paid on the Friday, it'll go in on the Monday or the Tuesday, whatever, and it's still dragging on. And then it comes down to the board, where he sacked the whole board after they said they wanted to go into administration. That was the point, I think, that the fans were like, this is it now. Like, he's gonna run the club into the ground, and this is either we go into administration somehow, or he will just kill us like he did with the rugby club. And that's the hardest part, is thinking that we could go the way that they did and we'd have to start up again like a berry, which, with our history, like, we're 105 years old. Like, it's not just a small little club, it's a community club. And that's definitely shown these past 2 weeks, because the amount of local businesses that have come out and said, if you want, if there's any staff that are working, if you want free food, come and get free food. If you need this, just ask. There's a lot of community around. And I think when it came out on Friday that he had agreed terms to sell to Punjab, everyone was like, okay, that's it, right, he's going to sell, that's it, Monday, club's going to be sold, it's going to be a new start, the staff are going to get paid on the Tuesday, everything's going to be fine. And then it got to like 4 o'clock, and I was a bit like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Nothing's come out, nobody said anything, there's no statement to say they've sold it. And then it got to like, I think it was like 5:30, and then you see that the board of directors have resigned again. And then they put a statement out saying that they have resigned because the sale didn't go through. And they've spoke to Punjab and said, if the sale goes through tomorrow, we'll be there and we'll help if needed. But the fact that I think today what annoyed me the most was the fact that he put that statement out about him getting abuse from fans. Look, I'm not saying that he should get any abuse whatsoever. I don't agree with anything anyone has said or done whatsoever, but to go out there and put a statement out to blame every fan but yourself when you're sat there at home, you're not sorting this club out, you're not paying the staff's wages, you're not helping Derek with the team. Like, we don't know what that team is going to be at pre-season tomorrow. Like, we've literally got no idea. And I think that's the hardest part, is knowing what team we've got, because we realistically haven't signed anyone yet. And it's like fixture release on Wednesday. How can you look forward to the season when you don't know if you've got a team or a club to look forward to? And I think the statement that he put out today really, really annoyed people. The fact that he came out and said, I'm not doing this, the abuse that I'm getting. And it's like, what about everyone at home who's suffering, trying to figure out how to pay the bills and put food on the table? Like, it's not been the easiest couple of weeks trying to figure out how to do all that. So for him to come out and say that, I think just annoyed everyone even more. Like, a lot of people are saying, well, if you don't want to be here, sell the club.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it'll be done. And you don't have to deal with any of the fans ever again. Just sell it to Punjab and you can move on. I just don't understand how you can go out there and put a statement out like that and not expect to get backlash from it, because all the fans know how incredibly hardworking the staff are, the players are, everyone surrounded by that club. Not one of them have to go into work for the past 2 weeks. They didn't have to. They're not getting paid to do the job. So why should they have to go into work? But they're still going into work. And every single fan is behind the staff 100%. And I think, personally, it's probably been the hardest 2 weeks to go through.
Yeah,
to see Liam destroyed. From as soon as that board of directors statement went out, that was when he broke. Because that's when you realise, okay, maybe this is it. Like, we've got no board. How do we sell a club with no board? Like, some of them have been there for 20 plus years. Yeah. But it's an absolute turbulent time at Morecambe right now. And it's really, really hard to see the positives. But you've got to just keep thinking, okay, tomorrow something's going to happen. Or the day after something could happen. You just got to keep taking it day by day. And luckily, the staff are incredible at what they do. 100%. Every single, from the backroom staff to the media team to the top of, like, the general manager to the kit man to the hospitality staff. Like, everyone is still working. And they are incredible, incredible people. And they deserve, like, literally nothing more than respect and to be paid. Yeah, because at the end of the day, everyone's still got bills to pay and food to put on the table, and times are incredibly hard already. You can't survive off of one household on one wage. It's just physically, it's not possible. So I think for me, it needs to be sold tomorrow, and then hopefully we can move on and start afresh with Punjab and see where we can go from there. But I must say to Punjab, they are the most incredible, amazing owners that we could possibly get in, because they could walk away at any given point, but they've come out and they've said countless times that they will stick by the club and they want to buy this club. And for that, I absolutely adore them, because they could easily walk away from this situation and go, nah, I'm not dealing with this. But they've stuck around and they're still sticking around. And as soon as that sale goes through, I generally can't wait for that moment, because right now it feels horrific.
What angered me the most, right, was Graham hit the nail on the head. That statement where he's blaming the fans. What got me the most is the fact you've got someone there who wants to buy the football club, but then you're coming out with because of the fans and what they're saying and how toxic it is, 2 potential buyers now don't want to invest. But it's the fact he's not taking accountability for anything, but not taking accountability for, yet again, not paying your staff who are there working their asses off, still working their asses off, who are obviously going to be struggling as well, like you said, Jen.
Yeah.
Because imagine, and I know it's hard enough you and Liam, and you're there and you're working, at least you've got that income coming in as much as it's not enough. Imagine if someone's on their own. If they're single and stuff and they're there and they can't pay the bills and then they end up losing the house, whether it be the mortgage, whether it be rent and stuff, especially in this day and age, because there's so many people getting kicked out of their houses now, no fault of their own, but because landlords want to sell and things like that. But then you've got somebody like him just blaming the fans, not once taking accountability for anything, but blaming the people that care for this club, who obviously are the bread and butter of this club, who have put their working hard-earned money into the club, what he's obviously in the past, he's used this money and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And that's what angers me the most. And it's really, really riling me up because it's somebody here who just doesn't care.
Yeah.
It genuinely doesn't care.
It's so frustrating to see him putting out them statements like that. Like, if you don't want the abuse, then just leave. Sell. It's as simple as that. You're getting the abuse because you're not selling the club, and we are now in this position where, yes, we were bad last season where we had 3-4 players contracted. Yes, we've got about 9 that got extensions this year, but we're in a much worse position this year than we were. We knew what we were going into pre-season last year. We have no idea what to expect tomorrow. Liam's got no idea what to do tomorrow. Like, it's absolutely crazy at the minute, like, what is going on there. Like, it's wild. It's frustrating. It's angry. And it's like all these emotions bottling up, and somehow you've got to stay calm and collective. Like, you can't let him win and see you get that angry that he seems like he's winning. But to come out and say, well, 2 buyers pulled out because of the toxicity, I don't think it was anything to do with that, mate, at all, because they probably know if you would have sold the club, that would have gone instantly and the fans would be behind the new owners. Yeah. It's as simple as that. There's not one fan that isn't behind Punjab right now, and everyone just wants them to buy the club, and then we can move on. But right now, he's just delaying it and delaying it and delaying it. And the inevitable is going to come. He's either going to have to sell, or we're going to go in administration. It's as simple as that.
I hate this guy so much. Like, I cannot stand him. The whole of football, though. Yeah. It's not like as much as obviously Morecambe fans, but the whole of football, like, no matter who you support, you've seen it in all the statements. Everyone's there, like, getting behind it now. And it's getting to the point now, more and more people are seeing it, football fans and the football community. And I've been reading, like, all the quote tweets and all the tweets down below and stuff. And it's just absolutely ridiculous, honestly, how one man can do this. But not only that, can then blame the fan base. And just, it's basically a cop-out, isn't it? He's buying himself more time again, like he's done for the last, like, few weeks now.
Yeah, it's so bad what he's doing. When I read that statement, I was just like, you've got to be joking, mate. Like, you actually got to be joking. I was expecting a statement to come out saying the club was sold. Punjab have got a picture outside the stadium. They sold it. Like, to sit there today, I think the club hasn't been sold, and now he's saying it's going to be sold tomorrow. It's like you agreeing to terms on Friday and now you're saying more things need signing. It's not adding up. Something's not adding up somewhere. So we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I feel for the players. They're going to be turning up to pre-season tomorrow. And as much as they are incredible lads, they also deserve to get paid, and they deserve to have the team around them. But I have known that the fans have said they will be turning up to the pre-season game tomorrow, and they will be getting behind the lads, and they will be getting behind the players, because at the moment that's what they need. The staff are still going there and working pre-season games even though they're not being paid. The players are still going. It's incredible what the staff and players are doing behind the scenes.
Definitely. Has anyone else got any thoughts on obviously the situation? I want to say on it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I think as well. in a way, the EFL needs to hold their hands up as well, because, like I said before we went on air, there needs to be something where these people are vetted before purchasing a football club to then come in and just completely destroy a club that's, was it 105 years
5, yeah.
of history? And surely they would have heard of him and seen what he did at the rugby club.
Yeah.
Then he's come in and done the same at a football club. I think the EFL need to bring something in where people are vetted, and there needs to be some sort of clause. If you're going to buy a football club, you need to produce 3, 4, 5 years worth of documentation and finances and that sort of thing to show that you can run a football club. And if you can't prove or provide that, then you don't buy a club. It's as simple as that. Like everyone's like, all the comments are saying about, you know, people that work at these clubs, the reason they work at these clubs is because they love these clubs and they're supporters of these clubs. So that's why they will still come in and work. And even though they're not getting paid, it's because of the passion and the love for the club, which is why they're doing it. And for other local businesses to then say to those staff, look, you can come and get free food, you can come and do this. It just shows what Morecambe means to everybody in the area. So yeah, I think it's disgusting how you can blame the fans and that sort of thing when what he's holding, by the sound of it, what he's holding out for is, you can guarantee he's hoping to get a little bit more money from Punjab. That's why these other bits of paperwork haven't been signed yet.
Yeah. It's just greed.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Run a football club down to the ground, take everyone with you, and then just hold out for a little bit more greed. And it's disgusting, honestly. Yeah. If he really did, if he did have the right intentions and things like that, he'd just do it, take it, and all that kind of things, like settled. Then he doesn't have anything to do with that football club anymore. Staff get paid, go on your own business kind of thing. But it's just all about himself and just pure greed. And this shows what kind of a man he is.
Yeah, 100%. I just don't understand how someone can generally sit there at home and feel all right about not paying your staff and thinking, oh yeah, they'll be fine, they'll survive. It's like, it's been 2 weeks. Like, this is ridiculous now. Like, everyone deserves to get paid, and the fact that you're not paying them and just thinking it's all right is absolutely disgusting.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Jason, spend less time writing pointless statements and spend more time at doing efforts to sell the club.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like, what planet is this guy living on at the moment? Exactly. Like, you know, where everyone at that club has been emotionally drained, physically drained, financially drained for the last probably, few years, to be honest, in terms of like, it's just been so unstable. They've gone through probably the most turmoil last few weeks, where they don't know if they're still going to have a job. They're going to go into administration. They're even still going to have a club. And, he has the audacity to come out and start blaming fans for people not wanting to buy the club. No, I don't buy to that at all, because at the end of the day, it's an old cliche, but fans are always there. The owners will come and go, players will come and go. Like, this is the thing. It's directors will come and go. The fans always stay. That's the thing. It's their club, and it's built around their town and their club. That they spend a lot of money on to follow up and down the country. And this person's got the audacity to try and run it to the ground. I mean, I remember when Morecambe got promoted to League One, a few years ago during COVID, and gone from that to the National League. And this is the thing. We could have been talking about a minus 10-point deduction. We might still. That's the thing. You just don't know until you get that post coming through saying that the club has been sold. I agree with you, Jen, because like say you just feel like you're talking about, like say Thursday and Friday when we were having our Twitter space last week. We were talking about it's going to happen. I've been uncertain over the weekend. Right, okay, so training Monday, and now we're saying we need another day to sort it out. It's like, no, you can't keep dragging up this on for so long. Just get it done. Let's see, once you get it done, talk whatever you want about the club. That's the thing. Whether you want to talk about the abuse you've got, from fans or anything like that, you do that afterwards. Your first job is to make sure this club is sold and they've still got clubs to go and watch. It makes it all about him, and I'm not here for it. I can't see people like that in football. And the sooner he sells up to these new owners who have already been putting their money in when they don't need to is absolutely ridiculous. So again, I'll probably sound a broken record to you, Jen. I'm fingers crossed that it's going to get sorted out, but that's the thing. You just don't know now. With this so-called joke of a man until that post comes through on Twitter.
Yeah, I was literally saying to my friend today, because she messaged me asking how I was, and she was saying she just doesn't know what to believe at this point. Can you believe a word that comes out of his mouth in these statements? And I turned around to her and I said, I won't believe it until I see a statement that says it's been sold to the Punjab Warriors. And I see them outside having a picture with a scarf and that it's been sold to them, because that's how low it is at the minute. You can't trust a single word that's coming out of this man's mouth.
Part of me was thinking, right, this statement and everything he's put out and the way he's calling the fans and saying how toxic and things it is, like Ben said, why would you put a statement out like that before obviously you sell it? Is he trying to do that on purpose to kind of give fans more of a rise? So then he's like, no, do you know what? I'm going to take this club and drag it down to the ground and things like that. And make it then about, it's the fans' fault and stuff, because I'm not being funny. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you even do that? Because it's going to get more toxic, isn't it? It's as if he wants it to get more toxic, so then he can make himself be victim again.
Yeah.
It's going red.
I didn't see the statement because I was in work at the time, and then I got out and I saw everyone's replies and quotes to it of Morecambe fans and even non-Morecambe fans. It was... people are angry, incredibly angry at him for saying something like that. The fans have been over the weekend stressed and not knowing if the club's going to be sold today, and then to not have anything until he put that statement out about, my family's been abused and I got abused. And it's really, mate? Now is not the time to be putting this out. You should be focusing on selling this club and getting that paperwork signed and getting the hell away from this club. You shouldn't be focusing on this abuse that people are sending you. And I think it showed in the replies and the quotes and everything. People are just angry at him now. It's ridiculous that he's still trying to blame us when all we want is our club back. That's it. We just want to be able to go to the football, enjoy it, not have to worry if there's going to be a club next season. The staff aren't going to have to worry if they're going to get paid at the end of the month. It's ridiculous that we're still sat here talking about it and it's not been sold. I generally thought this morning, right, that's it, I'll come home, 5 o'clock, Liam will probably be paid tomorrow morning and everything will be fine, and we're still in the same position. Liam doesn't know what he's walking into for pre-season tomorrow, and that's the scariest thing, because you don't know what is going to happen with this pre-season now. The fact it's still going ahead, huge credit to Derek and the lads for even going and playing a pre-season game, because they could each say, no, I'm not doing it. But they're still getting on that coach and they're still going to play a game. And I think that's what the fans need right now. They need to go and watch a bit of football and a bit of normal away from the ground, because it is away. So it's I think for the fans, it's let's get behind the boys, let's get behind Derek and get behind the staff, because at the end of the day, they're not being paid for any of this at the minute. So for them to even go and turn up to a pre-season game is incredible from them.
100%. We do have a question as well. I know we did mention it in the Twitter space that we said, but if anybody is watching and isn't aware, does the owner own the ground and surrounding property area? Might be worth more selling for real estate. They only think of themselves, not for real old supporters.
No, he has no access to the ground. It is under a trust, which means he cannot touch the ground whatsoever. The ground has to have football played on it. It cannot be turned down or knocked into any housing whatsoever. So the fact that we have control of the ground is incredible. Yeah, we've got training facilities behind, but they're not ours. They are Tyson Fury's. We don't have access to them. We train at the college. We have a gym at the college. It's the fact that he can't touch the ground is probably one of the blessings in this, because I think if he could touch it, he would knock it down and turn it into something else 100%.
It just gets me so angry. But it's, like I said before, it's getting to the point now, everybody is calling him out. It's not just Morecambe fans. No matter what league they're in, the more people that are seeing it, they're saying how ridiculous it is. Obviously, Claire, before, she was apologising to us in a group chat, like, I'm sorry I'm using this language, but there's nothing else I can say. And it's at the point where it's absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, it's a trying to buy time and just coming up with pointless statements, basically not even mentioning anything really, apart from just what's going on with himself and a bit the self-absorbedness and stuff of him. And it's getting to the point now, it's like, just say what you're doing. Like, if you are going to sell it, if you're not going to sell it, just let these fans know. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's getting me really mad, honestly.
I saw Liam angry for the first time today, but he walked out after putting that board of director's statement out. It's just like, I feel it. Like, I feel it. Like, the anger is getting to the point of breaking at this point now.
It's like Merritt says as well, evening, Southend all over again this. Ron Rat play. Sorry, that makes me laugh every time we call him. Ron the Rat playing for fans the way Morecambe has gone is a copycat. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. This needs to happen.
Oh, I
won't wish that on anyone. You haven't seen it in person like I have. Oh, God.
Sam said that. It was like, whoa. Davis put as well, that's great. Least football will be played in whichever league Morecambe end up. It's just not knowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the unknown, and that's a frustrating bit, isn't it?
It just, at the end of the day, we just want the club sold. As a fan, personally, as for Liam working there, he got his dream job in November. He's been promoted, and he's not even got his promotion wage, because that was this month's wage packet, and he's not even got that. Like, it's ridiculous, and I feel for everyone. It's just absolutely atrocious. But I think the blessing is it's brought a lot of the fans closer together, and all the staff are a hell of a lot closer now. It feels like a proper little family that are sticking together now. And I think as a fan, I just want the club sold. Like, I just don't know what he's playing at. Like, he really is just taking the mick now. Like, genuinely, why are you dragging this out so much? And it's really frustrating personally, because I can see how hard Liam works behind the scenes and how much he's putting in. He literally can't do anything these past 2 weeks. Like, he can't post anything. All he's posting is statement after statement after statement. And he's like, I've had enough. I've had enough of posting statements. I get you. We all want to go to a game and watch football, or we all want the new signings and the new videos and the teaser videos and the interviews and stuff. And he can't do that at the minute, because he's literally just put a statement out, put another statement out, put another statement out. And it's like, it's just going to drain the life out of you to keep doing that. So I think for him, it's frustrating. But I think once he gets that email for him and that statement through that says the club has been sold and he can put it out, that's when everything can get pushed to the side and he can focus on what he wants to do for the season. Because there's so many ideas that he's got, but you just can't put them out because we're literally stuck. Like, we can't do anything. Like, we're literally stuck waiting for this club to be sold. And that's the frustrating part, because I can see how hard he works behind the scenes. Like, he's still going to like academy pre-season and taking pictures, because that's all he can do right now. He can't do anything else, so he might as well go and support the academy lads and go to the pre-season tomorrow. It's so frustrating personally to see what this man is doing to people that work at this club. Luckily, Liam is surrounded by incredible staff at the club, like unbelievable staff that everyone's so close knit at the minute. But if you weren't that close knit, you could come home and you could break so easily.
Definitely.
You could come home and you could just not want to talk about anything. Like, it's so frustrating personally to see what he's doing to the staff. Like, I just hate him. I just literally hate him.
Just wanted to say as well to anybody, I know it's been a really long situation with Morecambe. We did do a Twitter space that was on my account. We did record it. It was myself, obviously Ben and Jen. There was a couple of really good Morecambe fans and other teams fans who came on, had their say about the situation. If you do want to listen to that, please do, because obviously there's a lot more in depth of what's been going on there and stuff. But if you could help us as well, if you are new to the situation, please keep up with the statements. Have your say. Don't call him out, or there might be a statement about you wrote not long after. So please keep it like not nice, because we don't want to be too nice, but keep it like nice-ish. But yeah, please just keep up with it, and just tell if your friends don't know, talk to your friends about it, talk to family about it. If you want to tag any journalists or anyone on socials who might have a voice, who can speak about the situation, whether it's a content creator, just please keep talking about it, because the more people are talking about it, the more people are aware about the situation, and he gets more and more under pressure.
Yeah.
But be nice, remember.
Yeah. You have to be nice, so you might put up the statement now about you.
I know.
Be careful what you say now.
I know. That's why I thought I don't want a statement about me. So I was like, be nice-ish. But honestly, it's absolutely ridiculous. Ryan as well, he's got it spot on. Should have sold when we were in League One, when the club was at its highest. Now it's his now I always pronounce my H's when I shouldn't pronounce my H's, and I never pronounce my H's when I'm supposed to pronounce my H's. So I'm going to start again. Pretend that didn't happen. Sorry, I'm on one, Jen. I'm on one.
You're on one now. That's it.
Right. The lovely Ryan has put, should have sold when we were in League One, when the club was at its highest. Now it's his own fault, asking for too much money by delaying the sale constantly. Now the value of the club has just declined massively. That's so true.
Yeah, we was in League One, and then I think we spent 2 seasons in League One, then we were down to League Two, and we're fighting in League Two for ages, and now we're down to National League. Like, it's crazy, like, how much a decline has happened under one owner. Like, when we got promoted to League One, it was probably the best day of my life, like, genuinely the best. And then you sit there and you think, we've been relegated to National League now. Like, what has happened in these 3-4 years for us to have this massive decline where this one person has ruined the club, and we are now at the state where we don't even know if we've got a full team to play. Like, it's ridiculous, and I really, really just hope this sale goes through tomorrow, and somehow Derek can get some players in his squad, because we've got the fixture release on Wednesday, and I'm not even looking forward to it, because I don't even know we're going to start the season. Like, are we going to start on minus 12 points or whatever it is they give you? Like, it's scary to think what could happen to this club before the season even starts.
The only positive thing is, say that it does happen, like the sale goes through and stuff. The only positive thing is, with the National League, it's not like the EFL where you've only got a small window to get the players in. That's the only good thing, obviously. There's a long way to go before that. Hopefully not, because hopefully it will get sold. But if obviously it does take a little bit more time, but if it does, fingers crossed, then go through and it's all positive. At least then you're not under pressure like that. You will have a little bit more time to obviously get players in. It's not like the EFL.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, that guy, man. Ben, you look like an evil Bond villain, but the cat's so cute.
I will get you.
He's just hungry. He wants his food, I think. That's what it comes to play.
You're putting a warning out to Jason.
Yeah.
We'll find you.
To me, I will kill you. It's everything else.
Ryan has put as well, hoping for Rochdale in December when we might have a squad by then, and then the game will be much better than us playing with just academy players.
Yeah.
This made me
Just put it out there into the world.
Just painting white for you, shall I?
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip you going like that. I won't put for Jason, we're coming for you, though, because he might sue
Yeah,
us.
you might see that. You might actually come for you.
Yeah, he might
That's
actually.
careful about that.
Don't think he'll take it as the banter everyone else is. Right, so we will talk transfers. I'm going to be really nice now. Lee, Ben, who wants to go first out of you guys talking about?
Oh.
I'll save mine till last. I'll probably
Yeah,
put it on
I mean, we've bought players in at Worthing, but we've also let a lot of good players go. Like, I mean, Cashman, I think, wanted to go anyway,
Yeah.
and he's got a move for him to League Two, to his home club Crawley, where you can only think as well he can now show what he's capable of. Is he a League Two player? We're going to find out this season. And also Mo Fowl has gone as well. Yeah, he's gone abroad. So that's a massive loss. But have brought in players to replace the ones that have gone. It's just whether is that the whole thing of the club want to go professional. Is that going to be just a bit too much for him this season? Yeah. Or is it going to be fourth time lucky and we have a really good season and we go up? But I think it's going to be a hard season because the teams around us have just improved massively. You know, Dorking are going to improve. You've got Dagenham and Redbridge, Maidstone. You've got all these clubs that are improving every season. So I'm hoping the
scared of you, cat, Ben.
Well, yeah. It's like, no.
That's why I mentioned Maidstone. I don't want the cat to get me. But yeah, it's going to be a tough season. We brought players in, we brought goalkeepers in, we brought defenders in. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I think with the ones we've got, we'd be up there again. I want to say playoffs, but I don't want playoffs. I want automatic. Just because.
So competitive, isn't it?
Yeah, and we can't do playoffs. We could do playoffs. We can't finish.
I'm Ben, same.
Last couple of years anyway, yeah, I can't.
And Maidstone know about that as well. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna have a good season. There's a lot of changes, and I think the only man that can really say about how the season's gonna go is Chris, when we can finally get him on here to have a chat. So yeah, we just have to.
You just reminded me of something I was meant to do.
Oh God.
Right. Well, me and Sam had a podcast meeting last night, just talking about things and stuff. Nothing bad, just a little bit of a monthly run through what we do. And I was meant to message one of the managers to get them on, and I forgot. Sam's watching now, but I'm very honest, Sam. I'll do that when I get off here now. I do apologise. I'm very honest. I'm not a liar. asleep. I'm reminding me.
No, that's fine.
A message.
Didn't even know. There you go.
Exactly. It's like you
jogged
knew.
your memory. Exactly.
And David, Lee follows Worthing. But technically, you've not actually missed out on Danny Cashman because you follow Crawley as well, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to see him play this season, so it'll be quite good. I'm just hoping that he can hit the ground running. I don't love playoffs. Right.
I better put out a statement.
Yeah,
I better put out a statement.
statement.
I need to apology statement to Sam. But to be fair, Sam has put, I only done 2 of my 5 actions as well, to be fair. He's doing one now. Oh, he'd never shout at me, Sam. I say this now, watch it. He'll send me a statement. Your warning.
A warning.
Your warning. Luke has put, obviously from a Gateshead point of view, we have signed David Ferguson from Hartlepool. We've just signed today Callum Johnson from Bradford City. Oh, nice. Wow. This one really upset me because I really thought we were getting him back. Aaron Henry to Boreham Wood, excited about the project, whatever. Do you know what? To be fair, I couldn't have seen him moving up north. I think he's really settled where he is. And I think that is such a good signing for Boreham Wood. But I am very, very jealous.
You can blame us on that one, because if we'd bothered to turn up and beat Boreham Wood, he probably wouldn't have dropped to National League South. So,
bloody hell, Ben, I blame you.
To be honest now.
Graham has put that. He's the only one who gets warnings from Sam. Oh, funny. David's put Worthing, good luck. Are they National League South? They are.
Yes, we are, yeah. Hopefully
Ben.
National League next season.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Ben, do you want to talk Maidstone? You don't have to if you don't want. You really don't have to. We'll have a nice chat about something else.
What appetite tonight?
All I'm going to say is the fixtures coming out on Wednesday's least of my worries at the moment, to be honest. I will admit I'm a bit worried at the moment. I just feel like the players we've got, and it's no disrespect to what the management have done and everything like that, I don't feel like we've maybe replaced the players that from last season as we could have done, or should have done. Albeit we've got a budget to work around. At the end of the day, the management are given the budget they're given. But I mean, it was always going to be tough. We've lost a lot of great players. We've lost 2 to Eastleigh. We've lost one. Gone to York City. Like this, I think a lot of players have wanted to take up better opportunities elsewhere to play at higher level and probably for more money. So I mean, I can't blame them one bit. Transfer wise, it's a difficult one, to be honest, because I'll be totally honest, there hasn't really been one signing that's got me out of my seat yet. Because at the moment, on paper, we've only got, I think, 13, 14 signed up. And bear in mind, we've just started our pre-season game. So we are still, for me, 5, maybe 6 players short. And a lot of the trialists we had on Saturday probably didn't cut it for me. Maybe a 1 or 2 I thought I'd like to see again. But it's tough, really, at the moment. Look, we've got, we're still awaiting a number 1 goalkeeper. We still haven't got one yet. It is in the progress. I know that. There we've got a trialist in at the moment. I'm assuming they've got a couple more, in the pipeline just in case that doesn't go through. Defensively, yeah, like I said, okay, we got lad Lexus Beeden from Farnborough. Absolute unit. Probably about 6'6", 6'7". I mean, probably about a Reece Greenwich replacement for us. The part I think when playing 45 on Saturday. We brought in David Cisse from Eastbourne, Leo Hamlin from Weymouth. And I mean, defensively, yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, the problem we've got is, like I said, keeper and striker, because we've only got one striker at the moment, Josh Redfern, who scored 7 times for Welling last year. And if you were trying to replace Aaron Blair, who scored over 20 goals for us last year,
yeah,
it's a gamble. I will say it's a massive gamble. We brought in 3-4 players from side that got relegated last year. So to fit into a side that's meant to be competing for playoffs next year.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see sort of the style of football we go with. It's still early days at the moment. There's still a good month or so before the season starts. There's plenty of time for players to come up. But I just feel like it's not quite where we want it to be at the moment. And fans are a bit on edge at the moment because they've been asking for an incentive to buy a season ticket. But at the moment, it just doesn't feel like there's much for them to go by. I mean, then this is speaking from a supporter side of things, and I want nothing more than us to go back in, chasing for the playoffs. But I just can't see at this moment in time this side finishing above top 12, to be honest. I feel like it's going to be an average season. But look, if the management are watching this, if they ever come across this, it's not, like I say, it's not, and it's nothing personal at all. I dare hope so. They prove me wrong. I really do. Because, they've built good sides. They've been finished the playoffs the last 2 years. They've got FA Cup 5th round. They've won a trophy as well in that period. So it's not exactly like that they haven't found gems. And, a lot of the sides we put together are up there, and have worked their socks off of the club. But I just want players, they're going to give it absolutely everything. And we've got players that can create a lot of chances. We've got John Gilbert from Slough, Jeff Tanga, we know a lot about. He's come out from Ebbsfleet. Ruben Carvalho as well, which I'm sure Lee knows a little bit about from his time at Worthing last year. So there is creativity there. It's just we need goals, and we haven't got a goal scorer, signed yet. So it's quite concerning. But look, it's still early days. We've only played one pre-season game. There's still about 4 weeks left before the season starts, so it could all change. But we need something to happen quick because fans will start to panic. I know this club will do well for that. So hopefully we see a bit more activity maybe in the next few weeks or so.
Get Cairo. He's not got a club. That makes me really sad, right? Do you know what? And do you know what, right? With Cairo, bless him, he didn't go on holiday like all these people, like the rest of the team had the breaks and stuff. He's just been every single day putting videos and stuff up, trying to obviously get a club and smashing it at the gym and everything. And I know there's Rochdale fans out there who won't agree with me, but I really want him to do well wherever obviously he goes. But it just makes me sad that he's not actually got a club yet.
He can come to us if he wants. You won't get paid, but
he can come to us if he wants. I mean,
volunteer. Everyone's a volunteer at Morecambe at the minute.
I'm going to ask you as well, National League South, is there any signings across the league that you're excited about, any that you're shocked about? Just on the whole, any you're interested in or want to talk about?
I mean,
I think there's been so many players moving about. It's hard to pick a favourite really, or who you think is going to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
For me, it's Chelmsford City, 100%. Like the signers they have brought in, if that is not going to win the league this year, then they are going to. Then I hate to think how much money they're going to lose because you're bringing the likes of Jack Barham, Ricky Holmes. That's just a few. I say there's so many more I could choose from. To be fair, I think they brought a lad in from Braintree as well. I think part of them, the squad that got promotion. I think so. Like they are for me probably going to be the type of players. Maybe along with Dagenham. But then again, I haven't seen much from Dagenham yet that's got me sort of, up and, ready for them, really. I think the aim for them will probably be looking at, the second or third if they can. The Torquay as well, but Louis Dennis from Bromley, which I think is an unbelievable signing for this level. He's been proven goal scorer, a higher, he's done it at this level before. So, Torquay again, another side that you expect to be up there again this year anyway. And, I think, like I say, Worthing are a little bit like us at the moment, where they probably feel like they maybe haven't replaced the players, the talent they've lost from last year into this year. Because I say Worthing have probably made about a handful of signings so far, and obviously we've done about 8, 9 signings now already or so. So I feel like you might see some different teams up there this year. I mean, the one team I would keep an eye out for, and they've probably not been mentioned a lot, is Hornchurch. As our old man would say, what happens in Hornchurch stays in Hornchurch. And Darren McMahon gets his cards close to his chest. He's done his business so smartly. He has. He's brought in Josh Rees, who's a great player. Was an established National League player for a few years. With Bournemouth, has had a bit of time with Bromley as well. They've just got in, a lot of experience. Joe Taylor, I think it's a bit of a gamble. Joe Taylor's coming from Ramsgate. He's come from a couple of divisions below, but for the last 2 seasons, he scored I think around 50 goals, for the last 2 seasons, which at any level is amazing. And again, can he do it a couple of divisions higher? He is getting a bit older, so whether he can do it for the full season, it remains to be seen. But if you're looking at probably, like say, any side, I think Hornchurch have got to be one looking at playoffs. But it's so open this year; it's so tough to call. And I mean, have you mentioned Salisbury? Salisbury have been signing some really good players for this level that have been there and done it. So if you asked me to make my promotion contenders at this moment in time, I couldn't give you a definite answer because I just think it's so more competitive, even more so than last year when I couldn't make out who was going to win the league. And this year, I think this year is going to be exactly the same. The division's just getting so much harder.
Yeah.
And like I say, if teams like us or Worthing, like I say, don't get off to a good start, could well be in for a long season. You just don't know because the teams will be ruthless. And I think the transfer activity has shown so far from a lot of the sides in National South.
I'll have to say Slough are going to piss it because remember, I'm a top Slough fan now. I promised Scott Davis.
Where's the shirt? You've not got the shirt yet?
Not sent it there. No, he's not sent it there. No.
You had one job.
Scott, if you're watching, where's the shirt?
I know. But I did promise him. So, but on the other hand, who I think's actually been recruiting pretty well as well is Emil.
Emil.
They've really recruited well.
They've done their business early. That's the thing. They got in pretty much like the week or so after the playoffs had finished, or even before the playoffs had finished. So they certainly haven't held back. And again, they've always been sort of in and around most seasons, sort of flirting with the playoffs, but never quite got there. I think they maybe got it one year, but I think other than that, it's always been mid-table, 10th, maybe like sort of obscurity for them. And maybe they just feel like this year they've got, got a chance of having a go for it, maybe, because maybe they've just seen how good the division is. And obviously, to be fair, probably St Albans going down for themselves because it attracts a few of their players to come and look. So, as you said, St Albans, it was so out of character for them last year, with what happened. And maybe some of those players who've been there for a long time needed a clean slate. So going to like somewhere like Hemel, where maybe the pressure's going to be a little bit different, it might sort of really help them. You just don't know. But yeah, again, they're a side where I would, at this moment in time, expect them to be in and around that top 7 area. But there's so many teams I could just pick out. There's probably about 10 or 11. That's the thing. There's going to be some disappointing teams, not only not going to win the league, but not even going to make the playoffs. So it's just, I'd love to see how it's going to go first few weeks, to see how some of these teams and some of these bigger players in that adapt to the level, because some of them maybe haven't played there for a few years, or thinking that it's going to come down, it's going to be easy, and you think, no, it's not. This division has got so much better. I think last year showed just how close it was. So I'd love to see, how we. I know it's crazy, and this is why everyone is turning now to this division, and National North as well at the same time, and even the National League. It's just like so open now. You can't give an obvious favour now for each division who's going to win it. That's the thing. Like, it's been like that for the last couple of years. Whereas previous years you've had your big boys in the leagues that have always been sort of like guaranteed to go up. But I think just in the last 2 or 3 years, it's changed a little bit now, and now it's like a completely open playing field, which is great for the top areas of non-league football. And again, if you're looking from a neutral perspective, I hope we get the same next year. But from a Stones perspective, I want us to win the league by 12 points. But I know it's not going to happen. But you can only live a dream, can't you?
Exactly. I'll just go to the comments. Chris, he's talking Spennymoor. So for Spennymoor, kept 11 players from last season, lost 2 players. Callum Ross due to changing work, signed for North Shields in the Northern League, and Rhys Staunton has gone to Grimsby Town. Yeah, good move for him. Very good move. Spennymoor have signed Callum Solkeld, Alfie Doherty, and nearly said Doherty and
Doherty and
Alfie Doherty and Ollie Dyson. We had a loan from York, but fully signed him. Love that. Am I right in saying as well, Aidan Rutledge has gone to Darlington, Chris? Or I might have made that up. Let me know. And they are still waiting on 4 players for signing a new contract. Don't worry, I am getting to it, David. Don't worry, I'm getting on to Dale soon. Yes, you went to Dale.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I thought, surely I've not dreamt it. I know another one who's losing a lot of players, Luke. We got one as well, sorry.
She's just taking everyone's players off everyone.
Do you know what though? I will get onto that, right? I feel so sad because obviously we kind of, I won't say we're taking advantage. We're obviously signing Gateshead players because I know they're losing out on players. Hartlepool as well. I'll get onto that later. We signed a couple from Hartlepool and obviously yourselves as well, Jen. And it weren't that long ago. We were that kind of club who obviously there were a lot of people, whether it be buying and they kind of would have to sell them for basic peanuts and things like that. And at the minute, Jim's doing some pretty good business, but as a football fan, I'm really impressed with his signings, but I'm a little bit sad because I'm like, we are kind of taking advantage of people's situations and stuff. But yeah, do you know what? I was gutted about this because we were linked to him as well. And obviously he's gone to Oldham. He was honestly one of my favourite players in the National League for Gateshead. Luke Hannon, obviously he's gone to Oldham. I'm currently crying my eyes out typing that. Oh, I hope you're not, Luke. I hope you're all right. Oh, that makes me sad. I actually made my eyes fill up. I feel sad now. I know. And we have lost Ben Warman to Solihull Moors as well. That's only our biggest losses now from this season. Oh, Luke. Oh, that makes me sad. Yeah, I saw this as well. Finlay Shrimpton went to Chester from Scunthorpe.
No, we really missed out on that signing. We should have signed him. Like, really missed out on him. Like, he's got shrimp in his name for a reason. Why is he not playing?
Exactly.
Like, why? I'd get him on the back of my shirt.
One thing I did want to ask you all before I get on to Dale is the news broke. I think it was last week it was announced. There was rumours going around for a while. But what do we make of the Robbie Savage obviously leaving Macclesfield and going to Forest Green? Do we think he'll do well at Forest Green, or do you think? I don't know what to make of it, mate.
It's a massive gamble. I think it's a different scenario because look, he's one of the owners, isn't he, of Macclesfield, or at least one of the directors. So you guys you're fully attached to a club. You've been building something for the last, I think it's like 4 or 5 years they've been doing now at Macclesfield. So like you have more of an incentive to really do well. I'm not saying that he won't have the same energy going into Forest Green. But he's gone to a side, where, look, it was his budget. He wanted to he brought in all the players he wanted to bring in. It was his own choice, where now he has to work, obviously, under an owner that we know, in Vince Day. Oh, was it Vince Day? Was it? I can't remember. Never remember his name. It's off his head. He's a man that will put his money where his mouth is. He's never been afraid to spend money over the years. And that's why they've always been top area of National League. And obviously, not that long ago, top end of League Two. So it's a massive gamble for them. And I think will maybe a clash of personalities come in with Dale Vince and Robbie Savage because they're two very strong characters. But
how we're thinking.
If this is Robbie Savage's time to prove himself that he can be a manager, this is it, because they'll be under huge pressure to get automatic promotion next year, 100%. Because again, they were a side that probably weren't looked upon so much in comparison to your Barnets and York Cities because they were sort of in and around sort of third, fourth, trying to secure playoffs. But I think this year brings a different kind of pressure because of what's been happening at Morecambe, and obviously Carlisle again. Whether they'll be thinking they can bounce straight back winning the league, they'll be thinking that this is our time now to win the league. It'd probably be us in York City. So I would be interested to see if he can crack it at National League level, because it's going to be a difficult ask for him, but. Who knows that he did get, records with Macclesfield with the points total and the goals scored and that. So there is something clearly there that, he gets the best out of players, but can he do it with, bigger players, bigger time players on bigger wages and that?
Yeah.
It's different to obviously being a player and a manager. I know he's played at the top level, but I'll just be fascinated to see what sort of reception he gets in the sort of first 3 or 4 games to see if he can get him to at least a couple of good wins to start him off.
Anybody else want to say their thoughts?
I saw when I heard about Robbie Savage moving Forest Green, I think it sort of fits his ego.
That's true.
To me,
that's true.
You're going to say it's eco. They're eco-friendly, aren't they?
No, but he's to me, Savage has got a very big ego, and he did when he was playing football, and going to Forest Green with Vince Dale. Yes, they could potentially clash, because Vince Dale is very outspoken on his views and that sort of thing, whereas Savage can be very outspoken. So that's why I think they will clash. But then also they both have very big egos as well. And don't get me wrong, Savage has come into the league now, but he's going to be working and managing in a very tough, different league compared to where he was last season with Macclesfield. So yeah, it's going to be tough for him. He's not going to get his own way. So yeah, he's gonna feel what managing a National League side is like, and it's not easy. It's tough because there's so many good teams there. So yeah, he's gonna feel the pinch, I think. But good luck to him. Let's see if he can prove himself, because these National League South, North, and the National League are, I would say, some of the best places for managers to prove their worth.
Yeah.
And that he's got a club like Forest Green that could be going places. So yeah, let's see what he can do.
What about you, Jen? Oh, sorry, Ben.
No. Let Jen go first.
I just think it's a weird appointment. Like it just feels weird. Like, God, I just think about how he's gonna do. Like, if he doesn't do good in the first 3 to 4 games, is he out? Like, is it gonna be that competitive that he needs to prove himself within like the first 5 games? And if they lose all 5, he could be in trouble. Like, the Forest Green owner has no, not how to word it, but he does what he wants and he can do what he wants. He's got the money and they've got the backing behind them. So I think if it doesn't work out, they could easily just sack him off and get someone else. So I don't know how it's going to work. I'm intrigued to see how it's going to work, but who knows how it's going to end up? Absolutely no idea, but I think it could be a huge backfire.
I was just going to say, obviously, what Lee was sort of just alluding to, obviously, with players coming down to this level, like, it is interesting because you see, obviously, Kevin Phillips has dropped to this level, in the last year or so. Obviously, George Edekobi's obviously dropped, to National League South to start his career. I mean, we haven't even mentioned, obviously, I think, who's it, Jonathan Greening as well? He was at Scarborough for a bit.
Yeah.
But we haven't even got to obviously the National League and looking at who's coming down into it. You think you've got Mark Hughes and Simon Grayson as well coming in. I mean, could you imagine that about a decade ago, about having 2 managers that have, managing the top ends of, the English football ladder coming into the National League? Like, it just shows that, like, no, and that's, to be fair, I think it's been a good thing for non-league football because it just shows that 100%. no one's too big for their boots. And I think that's also always a good thing, because there's always been this arrogance about, non-league sides. I mean, the comments I always remember about was it Dominic Solanke made about, if I was playing non-league football, I'd score 100 goals. He didn't even score 1 goal against Tamworth, so that just shows what he's
exactly.
There's still this, perception that non-league football is absolutely poor quality and everything like that. But managers, I think, are buying into it. And even players, like say, have dropped down from the top level to this level, are buying into this is a good standard of football. There's some teams, particularly in the National League, that play such attractive football, and you'd think I would want to watch that every week. And that's like even drop into National South. I mean, like I say, I've seen Worthing at their best when they came to us last year. Some of the football they played, I'd expect from League One sides, to be honest. And then Dorking, obviously, we know exactly they love to get the ball down and play. And obviously, like I say, Dale, they like to play away from the back. That's the thing. There's teams that don't just hoof the ball forward, and managers are clearly thinking to themselves, look, I've been able to do it at that level. It might be a bit tougher, but I just need to find technical players. They don't have to be the best, at everything. They just got to be able to do the basics right, and they've just got to fit into a system that works for them. If that means bringing younger players in or going with experienced players, and that's something that they learn from being at the top level. And I guess the likes of Robbie Savage and that I've actually done across their careers. They've watched the top players. They know what's expected, and even being able to adapt the lower you go. And obviously he's done that at Macclesfield, but like as Lee was saying, it's a tough change, and it's a big step up going from Northern Premier League to the National League. There's a lot of teams in that are pushing for promotion. It's not one or two. This is a good 5 or 6 ex-league clubs that are desperate to get out of that division. So and that's the thing. And you've got to show. He's just got to show that this level is as tough as it can be. So yeah, I'll be really just beginning to see how all these managers settle into the division really quickly.
I was actually going to say exactly the same as you, Ben, because I think it's good. Obviously, the way he's come to Forest Green and stuff, but I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on him, not just because it's Robbie Savage, but you think they've obviously got high expectations, as we saw with obviously Cottrell getting sacked after the playoffs. So they've got high expectations. They want to go back to the Football League. And then you've got the likes, obviously, York have recruited, absolutely brilliant. Like, they are going to be a force. Like, I don't know what their starting 11 will be, because the amount of quality they have bought, they had a lot of quality players anyway, but the amount of quality players they brought in as well in this transfer window, I think they're going to really be a force. You've obviously got Carlisle as well, signing Regan Linney. Yeah. He's already proven scorer at this level. Mark Hughes as well. I don't really know what to expect with Mark Hughes. I know I said it on a podcast a few weeks back. Great name and everything. He's obviously done it at Bradford. Will he be able to obviously do the same at the National League level? I don't know. I think it'll be a little bit different. But I think obviously he's more than capable of doing that, especially with the squad they've got. They've obviously got backing behind them. Southend, like we saw from Southend last season and what they can do, and under Kevin Mayer, I obviously don't want to write us off as well, because I think we've recruited quite well. I will get onto that a little bit later. We've recruited quite well, so we can't write us off. Eastleigh, I think Eastleigh have recruited really well this transfer window as well. And I know with them, we usually often see them start the season quite well, but then they tend to drop off. But I think they've obviously recruited pretty well. Trying to think of some more off the top of my head. I'm like, off the top of my head, I'm a nightmare. But you see my point, like obviously the quality and stuff, and will he be able to obviously, will it be under pressure? Will they have a kind of a plan, whether it's a 2-year, 3-year plan? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I don't really know what to think on that. This one. Should mention some of your signings. I was just about to say that Ollie Banks is one of my favourite players. Loved him at Chesterfield. Really, really rate him. And it honestly, I was so upset when he went there, because I was like, why York? Out of all the teams, why York? Because they're just recruiting so well. Ben Brooks, Boateng, and Matt Kitchen. Like, he's proven at Oldham as well, a really, really good signing for them. And I think they kind of, from last season and stuff, and I think they've kind of learned the lesson from last season, and they've got the players, obviously on top of that, there was a lot of injuries and stuff. They've got the players obviously on top of that, whether I just think they're going for it, aren't they, York? Like massively, that's all I can say.
This season, they're
going to be going for it.
Yeah. After finishing it the way they did and being on the 100 points or whatever it was they ended up on, they need to go for it this year and get automatic, because as a York fan, I think that's what you should be expecting this year.
Most positions as well, they've got like a really good replacement. So if one of them needs to rest one game, you can bring someone in and just as good.
That's the thing, obviously. My perspective, obviously, like Brooks is like the best left back in the National League South by a country mile. Like, is contributions. It's not just defending; it's the assists, the set pieces, the hard work he brings in there. And I think he'll work in a system under Hinchelwood as well. I think like he'll buy into that very quick. It'll be a different style he'll be asked to play in comparison to what he did for us last year. But I think now he's had about 2 or 3 years now in the National South, obviously with Chelmsford and us. And I think now he's ready for the step up now, I feel. And look, it was always his goal, because like obviously he does a YouTube series about road to full-time football. And obviously look, he's achieved his dream now. And this was the best move possible. He's probably going to arguably one of the biggest clubs in the National League with one of the biggest support bases and probably some of the best facilities. So like, I can only wish him best of luck. And I know he fully deserves it. And I really interested to see like how he gets on. Obviously, in particular, our ex-players, like I said about Eastleigh, Temi Wecker and Aaron Blair, if they can cut at the National League level, and that'll be proven very quickly. But I feel they'll be absolutely fine at that level. So I think that's what a lot of clubs have done. They've looked to the successful sides in the divisions below and seen, look, obviously the quality is there and they could easily play in the Football League. We think, look, we can take a chance at them, bring them in for a couple of years, and maybe we can develop them, and maybe they could be part of the side that gets into the Football League with us. I think that's what players are starting to buy into now in the National League. It's not about just going back in, just go into a higher level football. It's they want to get into the Football League 100%. And so the likes of Ben Brooks going to York is going to prove that. You look at the quality of likes of Ollie Banks, who's done it at Chesterfield. So it's all there for like York. And like I said, probably the biggest pressure will be on them this year to go up, I feel.
100%.
I'm sure Morgan will probably agree with me on that as well. But it's so tough to call that National League this year. Once we've actually everything's all settled down and we're actually into the start of the season, because there's still plenty of time for more transfer actions to take place.
Definitely. There is a couple of questions in the chat. I will come to them at the end. I am going to talk Dale now, but before that, thank you so much, obviously, Danny, and we will smash a like and subscribe to your channel as well. But yeah, to be fair, I'm going to start with, we have improved our pitch. We've had work done on our pitch, which is a great start. So anybody that is coming to Scotland this season, I'm hoping, Boston fans as well, it was a very traumatic time for them because they tried 3 times to come to Scotland. So yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, our pitch is okay. We have had work on it. I do agree with that. They've made some really good signings as well. I did mention Boston, but yeah, John Lewis, obviously from York, has gone there as well. Very good, experienced in the National League. And yeah, they've made some really, really good signings. Dale, I'm going to start with, you've heard me come on this podcast before, and even the lower league one, and I've just said about Jim's mentality, and obviously he's a defender, he's got that defender's mindset and mentality, and I was like, it just needs that little bit of help. Well, anyway, Kevin Gibbons, who was our assistant manager, has obviously left now. He has joined Brian Barry Murphy at Cardiff, so he's gone there. So we needed, obviously, an assistant, and we brought in Jason Taylor. We did have him on loan. It was at Barrow as well, part of their coaching staff, Jason Taylor. And for us, when he was on loan, he was that really dirty midfielder that had a bite about him, like one of them typical old schools midfielders who had that little bit of physicality and that bite about him. So when obviously that news came in, and he's a winner as well, I was so happy with that. We've obviously got Josh Lillis, ex-Rochdale goalkeeper, part of our backroom staff, goalkeeping coach, which we had him last season. And then today it was announced that ex-player for us, Matty Doan, has joined as part of the backroom staff as well, and he's got that attacking side to him. So I'm really, really happy, because I said to you, didn't I, like week in, week out, I think Jim just needs that little bit of help, a little bit of guidance, because he is still learning. But the fact that he's brought in ex-teammates who obviously he's been around, where they can trust as well, and he knows that they're all part of promotion, winning squads and stuff, I think that is really brilliant. They all know the club as well from top to bottom. I know it's a little bit different now with new owners and things like that, but pretty much know the club from top to bottom. So I just think that in itself is massive for us. All these different ideas and different kind of people that can help work on things with the players. But from a player point of view, Hartlepool fans, I am so sorry. I promise you, I am so sorry, because I know the situation you're going through, and obviously we'll highlight it on it as we always do with them clubs. But those two signings we signed last week, I'll start with Mancini first. Like, on paper and from what I've seen of him, he can be really good. He's a real talent. He has that quality about him. The only thing with him is he's very injury prone. And it's bad injuries he suffered with. But as a squad player and someone who can hopefully come on and bring back a little bit of sheer quality about him in a game when we need it, that is massive. But then to bring in Emmanuel Desirue, I mean, 6'5". We cannot score from corners or set pieces, but then we bring in a 6'5" striker who is obviously, I know recently people have said he's only cut it the last couple of seasons in the National League. I think he's been at several other clubs and stuff, but he's kind of found his level at National League, and especially for Hartlepool the last 2 seasons, he's been brilliant for them. To bring in someone like that, he's the perfect signing. Like, he's quite good technically as well. He holds the ball up, apparently. Hartlepool fans said really, really well. His hold-up play is really, really good. But I'm thinking, imagine, like, you've got the likes of Adi Barlow there who you can play further up front. You've got Devante Rodney, Desirue, and then you've got the goat in Ian Henderson as well. Like, there's some real good choices to have there. And yeah, what signing he is. We signed Dan Moss as well from Woking, who's quite established in this level. Very good. I know Woking fans were disappointed to see him leave. But we're signing some really, really good players. One, obviously, Luke will know. I think he's called Humbles from Gateshead. Hosanna as well, we've signed from AFC Fylde. So we're recruiting pretty good, National League players, who've cut it out before, that little bit of experience. Obviously, you mentioned before, Jen. I don't really know too much about him, but you've told me about him. Big Dave. Big Dave, as you said.
We love Big Dave. We do. He was a special man. Sometimes he can have good games, and then sometimes he can have bad games. It's like hit or miss, but when he's on it, he's on it. He was such a good player for us. But he was like an even better person. He was so humble and so down to earth. And it's a bit of a feisty man. Bit of a feisty one. He gets quite a few yellow cards and gets a bit angry sometimes. But he's a really good player, but he's a really good guy as well. And when I saw that he got announced to Rochdale, I was like, oh, that means we're going to have to see him again. He's going to have to see him again. And it's horrible when you have them players that come back and then they play. Like when we had Connor Ripley come back from Swindon last year, he's my all-time favourite player. I absolutely love that guy. So when he came back, everyone clapped him and he clapped us. And I like when players go to other teams but still respect the team that they played for.
Yeah, of course.
He put out a little statement saying thank you for the best 2 years at Morecambe. So I think for him, it's good. I really, really hope he does well at Rochdale. But as a fan, it's gutting to see him go. But I wish him generally all the best, and I really, really hope he does well for Rochdale.
Fingers crossed. One thing that I do like as well with Jim is he's kind of learned from his mistakes last season, because we had a lot of loan players, and obviously it's good to bring in loan players. Yeah. It's good to have the talent from obviously across the leagues, but it's always good to have a good squad behind you, like your own squad as well. And I feel like with Jim, he's learned from that. The only problem is we don't actually have a goalkeeper right now, apart from Josh Lillis. But I am manifesting. Please manifest with me. Super Sam Waller back. because apparently he's back in training after obviously getting injured last season with his hamstring.
Yeah.
He's apparently back in training. And I don't know if anyone saw it this morning. On my way to work, after I dropped the kids off, I was walking, put my AirPods in and everything. I thought, get into shape, go on my walk to work. And 2 songs came on. Blossom's The Keeper, one of my favourite songs, and Status Quo, which we all sing Super Sam Waller in goal to that Status Quo song. And I'm like, it's a sign. If that's not a sign, then my phone is playing tricks on me.
I think so. You were singing it as you were walking to work as well.
Oh, too right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even when I have my AirPods in, I can't help but sing loud. So everyone around me, but for that song, you've got to go for it. You're like, Super Sam Waller in goal. But honestly, I'm manifesting it to the point where every podcast I do with Dan or every conversation I have with Dan, I'm like, right, if you see Sam Waller or anyone linked to Burnley, you know what to do. We need him back. But obviously, we do need a couple of goalkeepers because we've not got one, and we can't rely on Josh Lillis. Like, don't get me wrong, he was a fantastic goalie for us, but he's getting older now. So, yeah, I'm hoping we do bring in a keeper very, very soon because we have our first pre-season game on Saturday. It's FC United as well. So, yeah, we definitely need a goalkeeper for that. Otherwise, we can go with the philosophy of at least we've got Devante Rodney, Ian Henderson, and Desiree up front. Them score a lot of goals, even if you've not got a keeper, as long as we score more than the other team.
Yeah.
We'll go for it.
Yeah.
That might be why.
Yeah.
Another one I wanted to mention as well, really quickly, we've had links to Alex Reid, as in Oldham, Alex Reid, and it was at Wealdstone last season. I don't know if there's any truth in them. I don't know if obviously Jim will go for him because I don't obviously know him personally or anything like that, but I've heard rumours of his attitude at Oldham, whether it's someone or a character Jim would kind of go for, or if he would give him a chance and bring him to Dale to see how he gets on. So I'm not too sure if there's any truth in that. But I think it'd be a very good signing in the aspect of obviously getting goals. Like, you couldn't really argue with the front strikers of them, really, could you? Be proven National League players and strikers, but I just don't know whether he'd actually go for a character like Alex Reid. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's pretty much everything from a Dale perspective. I'm very happy, very happy. Gary's put as well, shout out to Jake Warner, a fellow Chertsey Town supporter who'll be cycling to all away games in aid of Crohn's and Colitis UK. That's a total of 1,700 miles covering 21 grounds. If you do have any fundraising page or anything, please send it to me. I'm Sharex REFC, obviously, on Twitter, or Absolute Football Podcast, and we will share that as well. More than happy to do that, but that is honestly fantastic. Truly amazing. They'll get a couple of good goalies, Dale, no doubt, from National League or above. Maybe Liverpool can lend us a good one. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, my throat's gone now. I think it's the thinking. But yeah, that is the end of the podcast. It's been a pretty quick one. I say quick one. It's not really, has it?
No,
hour and a half. It was supposed to be a really quick one, but no, definitely not. But yeah, the next few weeks obviously will consist of, I'm hoping I can get a National League North or South manager on if I do message him back, and we could hopefully potentially will be doing an interview with them, which we can push out, but then it will be season previews because the season is creeping upon us very, very fast, very fast. But really quickly, we do have a couple of questions. David has asked, could a team promoted from National League North and South do well this season in the National League? Scunthorpe? Did they got promoted, didn't they? Yeah.
I expect Bournemouth to do really well. 100%. With the signing as well. We said they shouldn't even have gone down a couple of years ago. Again, a bit like what we've said in previous years with some of the clubs, like St Albans. I think they shouldn't even they're never in that situation usually. And some of the signs they brought in, actually, like I say, they brought in Aaron Henry, they brought in Jeff King, I think, in the last couple of days, and known from New York. That's a good sign for them in terms of the level. So, yeah, I think them, maybe Scunthorpe as well. I think they've put, I mean, I'd like to think now they've had all the bad times behind them with the ownership in that they now kick on in the National League. They won't, I don't think they'll go up straight away, but I feel like maybe they could get in the top half or so, and then they can really build from there. Maybe they're sort of like, well, I was going to say that, to be honest, it's probably the title teams that I think might struggle, especially I think Truro, they lost Jay's Cabia, like who's got Grimsby. That's a huge loss to them because he was a massive creator of a lot of their goals last year. Having said that, though, they have managed to keep a hold of a lot of their, top players like Tyler Harvey, who scored nearly 30 odd goals. They've just brought in Oxlade-Chamberlain on a 2-year deal as well. So they've needed to keep, I think, the core of that squad. And I always say you've got to try and keep a core of a squad that gets you into the National League, because that would be a difference. And if Truro to survive in that, they need every bit of support they can get, because it's going to be a lot of mileage for them to cover, and it's going to be a tough season for them. But I just don't think they're going to have enough about it. Trying to think who won. I can't remember who won the National League. Not Brackley. Brackley. Yeah. It's a bit of an unknown for Brackley because, again, a bit like Truro, they've never competed really at this level before. So you just don't know what to expect. They could be a bit like a Boston, to be fair, just be a bit of a downward slope, and then maybe have a great escape at the end of the season. I just don't know really. And then again, I'd have to really look at their transfer activity. But I think Boreham Wood and Scunthorpe would be the two to look out for if anyone's going to do well.
Can't really comment on Brackley because Josh from our National League season review show, I know he watches this, so I'm going to say nice things about them because I'm hoping to get him on the preview show. At least I'm honest.
Yeah.
Got to keep everyone sweet, haven't you? I sounded so Mancunian then. Do apologise. I'm not sophisticated in the slightest, as you all know. A question for you all. I mean, National League Cup. Thoughts on the National League Cup with the Premier League teams?
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Do you want me to take this one?
Take this one.
The thing is, though, right? Like, being part of the club advisory board, I'm not going to obviously go into much at Rochdale. They actually said in one of those meetings that for us, it actually did quite well, financially and everything. Didn't give us like figures and stuff like that. But obviously it was worth us doing that. And obviously we've got fans and the food sales and things like that. It's obviously not FA Cup replays. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous, the way they've done that. And you can see, obviously, people struggling more and more financially. And I'm not saying it's all because of FA Cup replays, but a lot of it is because those were the kind of cup runs and stuff that could bail someone out, or it could keep a player for an extra year or something, and then they didn't have to sell the player. It could obviously go towards pitch renovations, maintenance and things. So it's absolutely ridiculous what happened with that, especially considering you've now got these Premier League teams and their managers getting involved in like these pre-season tours in different countries and things like that. You've got the Club World Cup now as well. And it's like, but you can't do an FA Cup replay, which is obviously frustrating. But one thing I did want to mention from these games, similar to the Bristol Street Motors Trophy or whatever it's called now in the EFL, it's a really good chance to see up and coming academy players from the Premier League. And we were a prime example after the Manchester United game, because they were in our group. We then signed Jack Kingdon on loan, and he was a real asset to us throughout the season. And I think it's really good from that point of view, where then you can get some of these players potentially on loan and things like that and build up a good connection with the clubs. So that's a good aspect about it. But I just think it's so pointless, the fact that they think it subsidizes and it actually substitutes FA Cup replays, which it really doesn't.
Wow.
There we go.
Well, that's because obviously you mentioned about your pre-season starting against FC United. I still always say that one of the best, I think, first round ties, and you paid for me to say this, is when they beat you 3-2 at your place. And that
Josh Lister were in that as well.
Yeah, I know. That's because I remember watching that. I was only like a teenager at the time. I remember watching it. I thought that is exactly you know, you could picture FA Cup. That was just that one moment is when that third goal went in for FC United. And, you know, that's the thing. And that's why the FA Cup is more appealing to those fans. And I think you just see that, you know, the National League Cup. I think with what Rochdale did well is the fact they made, tickets a lot cheaper as well, didn't they? So they were sort of encouraging people to get out and watch the game. And I think it always helps that you were playing teams that have got, you know, much, because I think a lot of clubs up north have got bigger fan bases, obviously, and bigger clubs up there in comparison to the teams that were competing down in the south. And I think maybe that wasn't why it wasn't so popular. But again, I just couldn't see the point of it. Like saying you're back, like, you know, Mark I's back in National FA Cup replays to be scrapped, but was happy to bring a cup that would get 200 people in a match watching. So that was the thing that annoyed me about it. So I'm not a fan of it personally, but I could see your point of view, Charles, with there about seeing upcoming players coming through and, you know, gets people out. But then again, maybe they could change it slightly and maybe say, look, we'll do this cup, but you can enter an under 23s team or something like that. You know, if that's what they want, because at the end of the day, I just don't feel it's got the same feeling about being a first team fixture. I think that's the problem for me. If it was a younger side, you know, you knew that was going to compete in it, then I'd be all for it. But yeah, I just don't think it's worth it for a first team fixture.
The only other thing as well, which was a bit of a downside to it, is in the rules, you had to play so many players that featured in your last game. And obviously, considering what happened with our pitch and a backlog of games and everything like that, it wasn't ideal from that perspective, because you then had players who were playing bowls games, first team games, and then you've got the FA Trophy games, FA, you know, all things like that. So that was one thing. But then in the same respect, it was really good for us to see like our young up and coming players as well, who wouldn't really get the chance to play in a normal league game. And that's kind of where Corey Edwards had his stamp, and then he got brought into the first team and things like that. And he actually played quite a lot of games towards the latter end of the season, especially when Ryan East got injured. So yeah, I can see the pros and cons, but I'm against it in the fact that it does not substitute for the money you would get from an FA Cup replay, and not just the money, the memories.
Yeah. So is that actually in the rules then about, you know, you have to play a certain amount of players from your last league game?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
So that's the thing. So how can that be allowed? But then when it comes to the FA Cup, the Premier League teams can rest all their best players against the lower league players. Yeah. Because I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. Obviously, when we played Ipswich, you know, like, look, they made 10. They still had a good enough squad out there. There was a lot of first-team players, but they made 10 changes against us. Now, you can't tell me that that's sort of, you know, fair, if you like. If, like, you know, in the National League, when you've got smaller squads, you know, you just have to keep going with what you've got. And like you say, Charles, like, you've had a lot of, you know, postponements with that pitch. You have to play so many games in a short space of time. The players' legs aren't going to be able to cut it. And if they got rid of that rule, then, you know, I think it'd be a bit like, you know, you can squeeze in more academy players and it'd be maybe a little more appealing. But the fact they're forcing players to play, that's not right at all, in my opinion. That needs to change, because if they allow it in the FA Cup, you know, for so many players to be changed, why can't they do it in the National League Cup? Definitely.
For me, I just went because I thought it's another excuse to go and get my pie. No wonder in football season I put weight on. In the football season I lose weight, and then come football season I put weight on again. My face gets rounder. Honestly, I have peas with it though. One of me 5 a day. But yeah. Any excuse. But yeah, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Lee, thank you so much, because I know you've not been well, but thank you so much for joining us. And where can everybody find you if they want some JCB Lee in their life?
Well, everyone can find me, as we can see here, on YouTube, which is Football League Adventures, but also on Twitter, which will be the same name, Football League Adventures. And Instagram as well. You can all find me there. And also, I got a message tonight from the Football Content Awards that they've asked me to submit my YouTube channel. So I've got a tweet. So if people want to go and vote, go to my Twitter page.
Yes.
Do it, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will put out a statement about you all.
Yeah.
I know we was in it. I put your names in it. Only joking. Don't want anyone falling out with me.
Not talking today.
No. Jen, where can everybody find you?
So it's Jen Hun _ on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all them places. You'll find me trying to get the word out as much as possibly can. Hopefully tomorrow is the day, but let's not hold our breaths. But we'll keep everything crossed and we'll see what happens.
This commentary. I think it's. Do you know what? We should make it a segment on here, and I could do like every game I go to, just me and my pies, like with a love song.
You have to have a photo with the pies to put up on here.
Yeah.
Yes. We should make it our absolutely non-league mascot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, that needs to be the next emoji for members. A pie.
Yeah.
Pie.
Yeah. Honestly.
Thank you,
but
guys.
as well, people, if you can, like I did mention before, if you can try and spread the word to everyone, get everyone talking about the Morecambe situation, it really would be much appreciated. And as I did mention, we did do a Twitter space as well. I will share it. I'll share it on our podcast page, and I'll obviously share it on my own page as well. If you could have a listen and tag people in it, it'd be much appreciated, because we all want the same outcome. Football should be enjoyable for everybody, and nobody should ever feel like they will never have a club. It's just an awful feeling. Several of us have been through it as well. But yeah, fingers crossed, Jen. Fingers crossed. Ben, where can everybody find you on the socials?
Not talking about Maidstone at the moment, I'll tell you that.
No.
Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter. Yeah, not been massively active at the moment, but like I said, I think once we get through a few more preseason games, might be some more bits and pieces coming out. Who knows? But yeah, if that's where you want to follow me, and if you got the pain to look through it, then fair enough. Yeah, that's where you want to find me.
Oh my God, we've got a spoiler as well. Oh, someone sign up. One more member and we can do a new emoji. Oh, who's going to be that member? I tell you what, whoever that member is, I will either transfer you the money, or if you come to Dale, I will buy you a pie.
Yeah.
I will buy you a pie. You can clip it, do whatever you want. I will do that for you. I promise. Oh, it needs to happen. Needs to happen. And if anybody does want to find me, probably not after this podcast, but if anyone does want to find me, I'm ShatXREFC. That is on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and the most important ones. We are the Absolute Football Podcast, and we do have 4 live shows a week. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. And we are Best New Content Creator at the Football Content Awards. As Lee did mention, nominations are open now. So if you do enjoy our content, if you do want to support us, please check that out and do give us a nomination. We were lucky enough to obviously be there last year. Did not think we would ever win. Like, we genuinely didn't think we would win. We're still in shock now. So it would be amazing to obviously have the opportunity to be there again. But yeah, on Twitter, we are Absolute Ball Pod. YouTube and Twitch, we are Absolute Football Podcast. TikTok, Absolute Football Pod. Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast _. Blue Skies, Absolute Football. And Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast. On a Monday, we are absolutely non-league. On a Tuesday, I don't think Sam does have a show this Tuesday. He's in a chat, I think. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he has a live show this Tuesday, but you can join him in a Premier League team. And if you do have podcast experience and you would like to join the Absolute Football Podcast team, there is an opportunity to talk Premier League football. If you are interested, then please give the page a message. But yeah, imagine joining the team talking Premier League football with Sam as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all you needed to say, really.
Exactly. On a Wednesday, we have Freya and Team Chaos, Absolutely Women's Football Show. They have been grafting the last few days. It is the Women's Euros, and they've been doing live watch-alongs or Twitter Spaces pretty much every day. They're really, really fun as well. I've been watching them, and yeah, definitely tune in. They're amazing. And then on Thursday, it's me again. I do apologise. Absolutely Love a League, where we do cover EFL Championship, League One, League Two. I am hopefully going to get a Hull and Sheffield Wednesday fan on, obviously to talk about all their struggles on the show on Thursday. If you do know anybody who does support both teams, I do have a tweet asking for people. So please, please, please tag them in, because I really, really would like to kind of address what's going on at those clubs, like I do for all the other ones as well. Not good times, obviously, for both of those teams. And one more thing I did want to mention. I'm not going to say too much because I can't give too much away. But if anybody does follow me on the socials, we do have a Women in Football series coming out very, very soon. Something, obviously, being a Her Game Too ambassador, but not just that, a female football fan. Something I'm really passionate and proud about. So again, if you know anybody who's interested or is in the football content community, the football community, whether they're a football player, physio, referee, just anybody who makes football a better place and can share their experiences and stories. If obviously you can send me their names, I would love to get them on the show. But yeah, thank you so much as well to each and every person who has joined us tonight. Sam has confirmed it is a Euro show tomorrow, live watch along with Freya. Much more exciting than watching me complain about United. Oh, Sam. Bless him. Bless him. Yeah, and Graham, do you know what? This made me really, really happy seeing this. I know Graham, obviously, has been an OG member for ages, like since we first started the show. And he felt really comfortable going on the Twitter space that they did. And it just made me so happy, just how someone who hasn't really done that before has like had the confidence to do that. So yeah, so proud of the community we've built. So proud. But yeah, I'll stop talking now. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and have a lovely weekend. I was on the lower league show. Have a lovely week. Still going Pete Tongley. Have a lovely week, everyone. I don't know what I'm saying. Bye.
Bye.